first incredible person that I'm going to introduce you to is someone that I've known for, man, it's about 10 years now. I was on the speaking circuit and I was talking to young entrepreneurs, and I got an email from somebody who helped book me conferences. He said, I got this kid. He's like 25 years old and he has an event in Iowa. Would you like to spend like $15,000 to sponsor this event in Iowa? And I was like, oh God, this sounds like terrible. Who wants to go to Iowa, right? Like, it's like there's nothing wrong with it. I like Iowa, right? They got zombie burger and, they got some good taco. But I said yes. And I met a kid who really changed my life. He's become a brother. He's really one of only two people that get me out of my house. I only travel now twice a year. This is one of the events that I go to. This used to be Rise and Record last year. Now it's Big Brand Ventures Live. This is only one of two events that I travel to every single year. And it's because of this human. And he is one of the most motivational, inspirational, high energy people that you will meet. He's also one of the smartest, most kind, most giving entrepreneurs that I've ever met. And he is the co-founder of Big Brand Ventures. He's the co-CEO of Big Brand Ventures. We've traveled all over the world together. We've hosted reality shows together. We've done documentaries together. And he is part of, not the soul, but part of the reason that all of you are here in this room today. His name is Brandon T. Adams, and he is going to be talking about the founder's journey and what it means to be a founder in 2025 and how that changes over time. How that changes from business to business, from idea to idea, from the people that you meet and the partners that you have, and how that has impact on the people that you do business with. I want you guys to stand up and give a big round of applause for my man, Brandon T. Adams!
But I don't know if I can take it much longer.
Buddy!
That I put
I wanna hear you stand up!
Please let this
Come on over here, stand up!
me like a zombie, it's like I'm being strangled, unconscious. Yeah, when temptation is almost like Satan is
Ventures
bringing you,
Live,
trying to
you're
take
live,
you away
baby!
from your daughters, dangling a bunch of
I wanna
painkillers.
feel you, are you ready?
And Watson's coming extra strict, and that's why they make them in rectangular objects, cause that's the shape of a carton. The way medication is how the devil's taking me on, and I ain't gonna let him break me, cause I'm a soldier. You can
You feel that energy? I said, can you feel that energy? You gotta bring the energy. If you're a founder, you know what I'm talking about. There's days you don't want to get out of bed. There's days you're ready to go. You feel like a billionaire. There's days you have thousands negative in your bank account. There's days you don't know how to pay the bills. There's days you're going to have your biggest wins. And today, I'm going to share with you the founder's journey. I felt like this was a great start for this because all in here, you're a founder in some way. You're a founder of your idea. You're a founder of your business. Some have a just startup idea. Some have an idea that turned into $1 billion company. Some had a vision and inspiration to go do something. And that's why you're in this room. So today, I want to serve you and I want to open your mind to what it's like to be a founder so you can set the intention for the rest of the event. So I'm going to share some stories. I'm going to share 4 different founder stories of my own life over the last 15, 20 years. And I'm going to share founders of people we work with at Big Brand Ventures that went from 0 to millions, that went from literally homeless to multimillionaires, to also some that are still going through the experience of the grind. Because I always say, for every level, there's another devil. What I mean by that is, as you grow, it's gonna become uncomfortable. Some of you, it's probably uncomfortable even coming here today. Who would raise your hand if it was a little bit of a struggle to get here? Yes. Who in here knows they've given it their all for their business and they want to do whatever it takes to succeed? Raise your hand. Yes, you all should raise your hand. So I want you to think about right now, I want you to close your eyes. Inside the mind of a founder, here's some of the thoughts that go through your head. I know because I've been a founder my whole life and I've worked with dozens of founders in our portfolio. Here's what it goes like. I will do whatever it takes to succeed. I will do whatever I have to do. I just need to raise money. I just need to get that deal. Oh shit, what am I gonna do? I'm out of money. I don't know if my family will understand. Oh no, my wife, my husband may leave. My family won't talk to me. Yes, I just got the deal. Holy shit, I got $1 million in my bank account. Holy shit, payroll's due. I have no fucking money. I will do whatever it takes to succeed. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I don't know what I'm gonna do. How will I get through this? These are all the things that go through the mind of a founder. Every single one of you, if you've achieved success in your life, you've experienced that. And I want you to know you're not alone. This is not easy. It's not for the weak heart. But if you push through it, you'll get whatever you set your mind to. And one thing I'll start with is you constantly need to change, you need to adapt, and you need to become a different person. Because who you were yesterday is not who you need to become to go to the next level. And I'll give you an example. 15, 18 months ago, I went to my co-founder, Brian Harrington, went to our partners, went to Kevin, and we said, hey, we've had success. We've done well, but we want to go to another level. We've helped people scale businesses. You know, we've seen what you've done, Kevin, too, over the years. You've built billion-dollar brands. Not only do we want to help other people build billion-dollar brands, but we want to build a billion-dollar brand ourselves. We made a lot of changes. At that time, there was 8 of us, which we were pretty lean and mean. And what took months of going back and forth, we said, let's bring it together. Let's merge Kevin Harrington Enterprises, Accelerate Media Group, our teams, and let's create something called Big Brand Ventures. It was not easy, guys. Over the last 15 months, people that I had worked with for over a decade no longer are with us because it just, as the journey goes, sometimes the band changes. We went from 8 people to over 30 people. Our portfolio companies they have, between our 38 companies in our portfolio, there's hundreds of employees. We've scaled, and we saw the sacrifice, the pain, the sweat, the tears we had to go through. I want to share with you today so you can really see inside of that. I personally had a change. It was very hard for me. 15 months ago, I made the decision to stop drinking alcohol. And it was a tough thing for me because I don't think I had a problem. Then again, after I stopped, I thought maybe I had a problem. But who's been to a shark retreat in here? Yes, shark retreats. We've done them all over the world now. The first one we did was called Put a Shark in Your Tank. 10 years ago, we discovered a product called Peeps. Took it from $1 million over $200 million in revenue, one of our successes. But we started doing these things called shark retreats where people come in, share their idea. We look for ways to help them grow their business. And it was one night we did a shark retreat, and I thought to myself, like, you know, I have a couple drinks, and I wake up in the morning because I wake up at 4 a.m. I don't know if you guys are the 4 a.m. club. And I run, I work out, and I thought that little bit of stuff that there's no clarity. And I said, it was different because our team started growing. And I thought to myself as a co-CEO of the company with Brian, we have families. I had Connor on our team and Priscilla who had a kid. And I thought to myself, the decisions I make affect their family, affect that little one. The decisions I make affect everybody on this team. They look up to me. I cannot let them down. So I said, I need a change. I took certain things out of my life. I stopped drinking alcohol. I woke up earlier. 4:30 went to 4 a.m. This morning it was 3:45 a.m. What things do you need to give up to go up? Because you will have to give up. And the question is, what is the price you're willing to pay? Some of you figured a way to get here. There is hundreds of people that said they couldn't come because they didn't have enough money, they didn't have time, some other reason. They didn't want it bad enough. You're in this room because you wanted it. As you grow as an entrepreneur and founder to scale, you have to give things up. Sometimes you have to eliminate certain people that are in your life because they no longer serve you. They're no longer supporting you. And you all know who that is probably in your head. Doesn't mean you have to say, I'm done talking to you. It just means you may have to limit it. So constantly adapt. And as you grow, you need to become the person that you want to be. Become that person to the next level. So, Iceman founder, what does that even mean? Who in here even knows I was in the ice business for years? Yeah. So, I'm going to share 4 journeys as a founder, and they're very different. Starting as a founder that was a few people leading to managing a team, to starting as a founder as an inventor. It was me, my wife, and a couple subcontractors, and then a founder that had started getting employees and growing, because all of you are in different parts of your journey as a founder. And I want you to learn from my mistakes, because I'm going to share some stories, share what worked, what didn't work, and what you can learn from it. So first one, Iceman founder. This is me. I was 21 years old, 20 years old. I drove a stick shift truck. I drove around the state of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and I was a packaged ice delivery guy. I still have a Class A CDL, so technically I can drive a semi. I would not advise it. But I worked for a living, and I worked hard. I thought to myself, if I work harder and longer, I'll go further. In ways, that's true, but you got to work smarter. What do I know as a 20, some of you guys are here in 20 years old, so you can learn from this. But this was me. I wanted to be the king in the ice business. I wanted to be the best in the ice business, and that was me. And so here I was, my team size at the beginning. I had an ice business called Adams Ice Service with my father. I also was working in corporate at the time, where I was managing other facilities, drivers, employees, everything. I started 3 to 4 employees. I got to the point where I was managing 50 people. I was 24 years old. Mistakes I made, which I want you to really listen to this. I thought I could work my way to the top. I was sleeping 4 hours a night. It's not good for you. I was going nonstop, wake up, go to work, go to sleep. At that time I was drinking. It was just not a good time in my life. But I thought I could work my way to the top. I found out I'm not a machine. You all are not machines until we get to the point with AI, we upload to the cloud and go into a robot. That's not here yet. You're not a machine. You can sleep great, you can be healthy, but you can only do so much as an individual. I learned that, and one day I was rushed to the hospital because I had a mental breakdown on the side of the road because I couldn't handle it. There's a point where you snap. I want you to avoid that. I learned, well, my mistakes were I was not delegating. Have you guys ever said to yourself, the only way to get things done is to do it myself? You want to do it right, do it yourself? Who's said that before? You've all said it. Come on now. That is the wrong mentality. That can be a mentality if you want to have a few people in your business, and you want to only get to a certain level. But in order to scale, you need a team and you need talent. Also, ego. I had ego. I was cocky. I mean, there's a good amount of ego-ness, but there's a point too where it's not good for you. It comes off wrong. So those are mistakes I made early on. What did I do right? I led by example. I would never tell anybody to do anything I wouldn't be willing to do myself. I gained respect. I was 23, 24 at the time, and pretty much most of the people on my team are twice my age. So can you imagine them even, who's this young punk kid? I gained their respect. I always did what I said I would do. By the way, listen to this. Sadly, not everybody does this in business. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Simple. So be careful before you say something. Integrity. Do what you say you're going to do. Surround yourself with the right mentors. I did that. People in the ice business. I surrounded myself with people in the ice business that were at the top. And from 0 months to 18 months, I went from 1 location to 8 locations, dozens of trucks, 50 employees, $12 million territory at 24 years old. And I was, in my way, a little bit on the top of the ice business. I did good things, but I realized I didn't want to be in the ice business the rest of my life. And my father said, I love him dearly, he said, with 2 herniated discs, he said, son, use your head, not your back. And I can walk good today, so that means I got out of the ice business. And so that was my journey in the ice business. But going back to this, the lesson I learned, you can't grind your way to the top. You can grind, you can work hard, and trust me, as a founder, there's phases in your life you have to consume your life with what you do. There is no balance, and if they tell you there's balance, it's bullshit. But you can't grind your way to the top, because if there's a point where you mentally will hurt yourself. Think smarter, delegate, and attract talent. Next one, Inventor founder. Who's an inventor in here? Yes. I got to call out Chris Sarker. How many patents do you have, Chris? 40 patents. Generated millions of dollars with his ideas. Fun fact, one day I was looking at a Lewis Howes podcast online, and I saw this guy named Chris Hawker. I reached out to him. I said, I want to interview Chris Hawker. Little did he know, I drove across the country, sleeping in my truck. I interviewed him in his office, and now he's in the pitch finals for the pitch competition. Let's give him a round of applause. But I was amazed by this guy that invented dozens of products, probably over 100 by now, that had massive success. And so I went and interviewed him, and I learned, because for me, I was an inventor. I had an invention called Arctic Stick. So I know what goes through your mind as inventors. I have this idea, I'll do whatever it takes. And so this is where I created this product called Arctic Stick. So Arctic Stick is a drink or a device you put in your bottled beverage. It'll cool it, it'll flavor it. It was this idea I had, obviously, when I was in the ice business. I got a patent, trademark, everything. And this is me. This is me pitching on a reality TV show in 2013, 12. This is me. I got on Shark Tank casting call. This is the product. And I learned a lot. I'm going to share what I did wrong and what I did right. First off, I think the number one mistake that inventors make is you just think about getting money from somebody. By the way, it's the quickest way to not get investment. I'm telling you, as an investor that's made dozens upon dozens of investments, if you come to me and say, I need money, otherwise I won't succeed, you're like out of the box of an investment. It's true. Yes, you need money, but you need to get strategic money, and you got to do it in the right way. Here's a little tip for you. Instead of going to an investor and say, I need money, will you invest some idea? Say, hey, here's my idea. Here's what I'm doing. What advice do you have for me? And that person will help you, and maybe down the road, they will invest in you. Focus on helping them and sharing the opportunity versus, I need money. I was focused on the money. Also, I was a guy that said, I want to keep 100% of my business. Now, I get that if you can do that, but I wasn't willing to give up equity to strategic partners that could help me get further. I learned the hard way on that. Be open to giving up equity, because the old saying is, do you want a large piece of a small pie, or do you want a small piece of a big pie? And that's how you really grow a business. And also, I fell in love with my idea. Obsessed. It's my baby, right? Don't talk bad about my baby. I wasn't listening to feedback, customer feedback. You need to listen to what the market is saying. And yes, there's people that are going to say things that mean nothing, but there's also going to be times where people give you feedback. And if you constantly get the same feedback, that means, listen, that might mean you need to adjust your product. Things I did right. I hired consultants. I hired a famous inventor named Cactus Shack Behringer. If you know me, that led to me eventually partnering with Kevin 10 years ago. But I found somebody that already had success with taking products to market, who introduced me to manufacturing, got me on my first TV show, helped me get my product to the market. Find people who've already achieved what you want to achieve and learn from them versus making mistakes, because mistakes are very costly. Next, I got massive exposure. That's a funny thing. I got more exposure than anything, but my product wasn't even ready yet. I got on the cover of Inventor's Digest. I had a podcast show I started that the sponsor was Arctic Stick, and I didn't even have the product ready yet. I got a news outlets, TV. I was getting myself out there, which was building a brand. I started to build my own personal brand because I thought, you know what? If one day this invention doesn't work, I have a brand. So for all of you right here, you should build a personal brand, because one day you might transition. And if you have a brand and people that know you, that means they're willing to work with you. And the next one I did really well, which kind of changed my career, is I raised money through crowdfunding. Who in here has ever done a crowdfunding campaign? Yes. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Start Engine. This is where I learned, hey, I could raise money for ideas, use the crowd's money to create my product, deliver it, and then grow it. That's some of the things I did right. Lesson learned, pivot faster. Some of you right now, I had the mindset, never quit. I still have that mindset, but there's sometimes in our journey that you need to make pivots. And it may mean maybe this idea isn't exactly what I want to do or should do, but maybe I can use this to make a pivot. So make pivots faster. The next thing is brands make life easier. Build a brand. It'll make it easier for your business, for opportunities, everything else. So that was the Inventor founder. Next, personal brand founder. Who in here has built a personal brand? Raise your hand. Yes. Hands down. Who in here wants to build their personal brand? Yes, good. You all should have your hands up. All right, so this is me from like 2015, really hardcore, to 2023 and beyond. I was focused on building a personal brand. Now, we did TV shows, cover of magazines, we did films, won Emmys that Greg, you see there, we filmed in cornfields, recently came out with a story of my life on Amazon. My wife and I travel the country. We focus on building the brand. And I started using the brand to leverage to make more money and grow. So the personal brand founder, we had Accelerant Media Group. We had about 5 to 7 people on the team. The mistakes I made, and part of me is like, I didn't know if I wanted to call them mistakes because partly it's why things worked. But the first one is I became so obsessed with me. So obsessed with people looking at, look at me, look at me, look at me. By the way, that's some childhood shit right there that I had to overcome. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So look at me, because I was trying to prove my worthiness. How many views did I get? What did I see? What, man, did they share it? Did they like it? I became obsessed with look at me. I learned a lot from that. I also became so obsessed that I invested all my profits and money back into my brand. We created TV shows that almost bankrupt me. I put everything I had in. So part of me is like, I don't know if that was a mistake because it did get me to where I am. But there's a point where it's like, okay, it was a little rocky because I did put everything I had in. Now the result of that was what happened. We won Emmys. We launched books. We got exposure. I leveraged my brand to get into rooms you can't even pay to get into. I got great partnerships. I started to get equity in companies with no money down. I got crazy exposure. I went on podcast shows. I got seen, all the things. It made life easier. You all should look at different ways to invest in your brand because it's hard sometimes. You're like, my brand, what's my result in the next 3 months? Sometimes you may not get that result in the next 3 months, but long term, if you do it long enough, you'll see the value, that one conversation, that one opportunity. So what did I learn? Brands get paid top dollar and they make doing business easier. That's why you invest in a brand. Next, where we are today. Big Brand Ventures co-founder. So inside that life, you know, you see all the things I shared before. It showed me, it showed my invention, all this. Now you see a bunch of people on a screen. There's a big lesson to learn. As I was creating this, I'm like, this is really how you create something nice and big. Family. This is, I hope there's a lot of people on here. Here's different pictures of people that are part of Big Brand Ventures that have helped build what we have. All these people on the screen, experiences, fun times. Hey, this is a rooftop. This is a couple years back. I know I'll be wearing that cowboy hat tonight. There's my family. It's my niece and nephew, Jackson and Jordan, with Kevin. They've been at events before. Actually, Jackson spoke once. But this is the team, the dream team for Big Brand Ventures. If you want to do something big in life, you need a team. You cannot do it alone. And that's why what we do at Big Brand Ventures, why we create these events, to make you feel not alone. We can be here to help you. Why do it alone? So team size. The core team we have is around 30 people between our partners, in-house people, everything. Between our 38 portfolio companies we have, it's hundreds of employees that we work with. And the big things I'm going to share here, big takeaways. The first one is team and culture. I say gold medal talent. I'll take it from a mentor of mine, Jeff Hoffman, who created Priceline.com. He said gold medal talent. You're always looking for talent. Find people that will tell you what to do instead of you having to tell them what to do. Find talented people that will grow the business for you. It'll help achieve the goals you want to achieve. Find gold medal talent. I'm always looking for talent. Is Carter in the room? Carter, back there. Let's give that guy a round of applause. And by the way, there's dozens of Carters I met over the years. I met Carter like 4 months ago. And the funny thing is, little did he know, I knew I was going to recruit him one day to work with the team because he's a smart kid. I share this story because he was working on a business at the time. And I knew like one day eventually he'd work with us. And recently he joined us and we're working together with many other people. And I'm always looking for talent. I'm always hiring, whether I need a position or not. Because what I learned is no matter what, if you find somebody that's talented and driven and motivated, you put them anywhere. and they will help you achieve big things in business. So find gold medal talent, hire team members, let them grow within the company. Here's another thing you ask everybody on your team. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What's your vision? Where do you want to be? If you have not done that with your company, you need to. Because at the end of the day, everybody has our own goals and our own visions, and they all want to achieve it. Yes, they want to help make the company money and everything, but really, they want to achieve their own goals. How are you helping them achieve those goals within your organization? And if you can help them grow within your organization, they will help you grow the company. What do they want? Help them achieve it. Hold your team accountable. Are you guys holding your team accountable? I always tell my team, hey, sometimes I may come off as a mean person, but I'm not. I'm just holding you accountable, and I want you to hold me accountable. Make people become the best they can be and get rid of B players. You only want A players. Find people that are willing to rise to the top. Let's talk about customer service. Just because you can get a client doesn't mean you should get the client. Who here has had a horrible client story, customer review, person that went off on them? Come on, you all had one. If not, you haven't had customers. When you find your ideal clients, they're going to love working with you. You're going to provide results. And if you work with someone, you find out it's not working out, don't be afraid to fire that client, because you'll find out it might have took way more energy away that you could have spent with 3 more clients. Get your ideal client. Provide the best product, service, customer service, over-deliver, create experiences for them, and ask them, how am I doing? How can I improve? Because ultimately, the best companies out there, you look at Amazon, he said this on an interview, he said, I'm focused on creating the best product, customer service. And obviously, you see where it's at today. How can you create the best product, customer service, which will ultimately help grow your business? Next thing, scaling fast. Again, who in here is raising capital? I'm sure a lot of people raise their hand. Yes. Okay, raising capital. Let me tell you something. They're all saying, be careful who you take money from. Just because you can get money doesn't mean you want to take the money. If you get the wrong investor, it'll ruin your business. Take strategic capital where your goals align and there are people that really align and set your expectations. I've raised money over the past couple of years for our own holdings, and I said no to a lot of people because I didn't want them to invest money in us, because I didn't want to deal with them. It was almost like, why should I allow you to invest with us? You need to invest money from the right people, and then also think about maybe you don't need to raise capital, maybe you just need cash flow. Sales does solve problems. So be careful who you raise money from. Last one is don't scale too fast. If you get way too many customers or way too many orders that you cannot fulfill and you cannot provide, you may get a bad reputation that could hurt your business. You may have to hire more people. Don't scale too fast, scale healthy. Okay, you guys ready for some case studies? I want to share, there's some people in the room, by the way, be ready. I might have you just stand up and say hello. Okay, first off, Happy Toilet. Stand up right there, right there. Chris and Linda with Happy Toilet. Let's give them a round of applause. So, a year ago, Kevin and I and another gentleman were taking pitches, just like we're gonna do tomorrow, for a $10,000 cash prize. And 30 people pitched. These guys were here. And we picked the finals. They were in the finals. They never ended up winning, but they ultimately ended up winning. We ended up partnering with them a year ago. And I'm going to share some of the things I learned from them, but things that went right. They went from 12 months ago, their highest sales day was $185, to now their highest sale day is $4,200, and it's increasing. I want to get that to $10,000 a day and then beyond. They went from literally cutting their costs significant on per unit and also making it where the tooling could put more units out. Obviously, you want to bring in more sales, but how can you cut your costs? We recently launched, we did a whole commercial campaign. I'm going to show you a video in a second. We did a production. We create video assets that acquired more customers. And we successfully have created a 3.8 ROAS in some of our ads, anywhere from 2.8 to 3.8 ROAS. And this is what I believe to be our next $100 million business. Cleaning toilets. Who would have thought? Yeah, you got to clean a toilet. And so what did I learn from Chris and Linda? Listen to your customers' feedback and focus on making the best product. over the last 12 months, I've literally seen Chris and Linda comment on every little comment and literally like contact people if they were unhappy, make adjustments to the product, make changes. They invested in their clients. And because of it, it's paid off. Listen to your clients. How can you make the best possible product? So I'm going to share a video. This is one of our highest performing videos right now on social media. Wait, oh, sorry. I got too excited. It's a little bit later. I'll go back. All right, with that said, I'm going to go to the next one. Dirty Girl. Hopkins, you up here? Where are you at? Stand up. Everybody look behind you. Look upstairs. I can't even see. It's so bright. David Hopkins in the house. Dirty Girl is a company that is a vodka brand, also mixers. This is us in Augusta, Georgia. We had an event there, Kevin and all of us. Here's the whole family. This is a brand that has really been blowing up. You're gonna see this a lot coming up. This is skyrocketing. By the way, fun fact, I don't know if I say this, but we're meeting with Kid Rock on Friday to talk about an opportunity. Bada the bada, bang da bang. You guys know what that is? No. All right, so they have a distillery in Augusta, Georgia. Ray is one of the founders. Cool thing about Ray, he's a humble beginnings guy that created a brand called RecTech. Who has a RecTech grill? They're epic, by the way. Literally took this brand from zero to hundreds of millions. He's one of our partners helping fuel this. They've sold over 35,000 cases into retail. If you don't know anything about retail for this business, that's really big. They are in over 7,500 retail locations. They're one of the fastest growing brands in Florida right now. They sell in 4 states. They're going to launch another 3 in the coming 90 days. And my biggest takeaway from them, beyond hard work and everything, is they create a really fun atmosphere to work at. Like, they're fun guys. You'll meet them tonight. You'll meet them later. For you at work, create a fun atmosphere. Have fun. Be cool with it. Create your own culture. Create your own brand. Because that is ultimately what creates a great business. So have fun with it. Dirty Girl, one of the people in our portfolio. Great people, great partners. Next one, Parlor. We got Parlor here. Where's Alex? Where? You can't see. Stand up. I can't see you. Oh, right up there. Let's say hi to Alex. So Parlor, social media app, 18 million plus users. It's a brand that 40% of America knows. They just did a relaunch. We recently launched with them Cardix, over 500 products. Raise your hand if you got a product in the platform. You got a product in this audience. Who has a product? Raise your hand. Hi. Every single one of you needs to meet Alex because you all are going to get on the platform for free in front of a lot of people to sell your product. Does that sound good? Good. Meet him later. Yes. Free exposure. They recently launched the Kyvo app, which is pretty cool. It's a wallet. They recently acquired a company, and they're on the process of going public. Biggest takeaway from them, they're in the process of becoming a billion-dollar company. Strategic alliances, acquisitions, and finding the right partners. They saw us a year ago. We've made like 7 visits to our office. When you find powerful people in a business, 1 + 1 = 10, not 1 + 1 = 2. Find the right alliances and team members to help grow your business. Next one, High Level. Give a shout to High Level. Where are you at? Stand up, High Level. Let's go. Come on, High Level. Yes. Over the last, I think, year and a half now, we've worked with High Level, which we're going to talk with the co-founder later, Rob and Alex. We've been actually using High Level for a long time now before we even started working with them. It is an all-in-one platform that gives you tools, support, and resources to grow your business. They have over 2.2 million users, which is insane. They generate 194 million monthly leads for their business a month. I first saw, a month. Recently, a couple weeks ago, Kevin spoke at their event. They had over 1,500 people there. And they are just crushing it. Billion-dollar company that's growing. And what I love about High Level, and this is my biggest takeaway working with them, they create a great experience for people. They make you feel really good. They are just polite. They're generous. And they create experiences that you won't forget. We were just there. It was Kevin's birthday, and he was speaking. And backstage, they gave him glasses. They made him feel like a king. They made me feel good. When you do that for your customers, they'll never forget you, and they'll work with you forever. Create great experiences. And let's give a round of applause for High Level being a sponsor of Big Brand Ventures Live. All right, here's some more. By the way, if you're a partner with us, you're not here, that means we didn't get a good picture together. Let's get it later. Other great companies in our portfolio, Friends, Sunburn Drink, Drink Blocks, Aqua Piato, We got Griffin here. We got Craig. These are all people we've worked with. These are people that are growing. These are people that are scaling. People that are in this room. Make sure you say hi. Make sure you talk to them. Okay, now that we went through that, as we go into kind of transition to the second part of this, there's 4 key areas we look at. You guys get your pens and papers and notes on your phone and everything out. And feel free to take pictures of this. By the way, feel free to post on social media while I'm talking. Feel free to tag Big Grand Ventures. Let's get social. 4 areas we look at. This is really good stuff. I'm trying to take, man, I don't know how much I paid. I somehow graduated college, but whatever I paid in college, like nothing near to what I'm about to share here in business. All right, first, strategy and developing a plan for your business to scale. Marketing, brand awareness, connections and network effect, and then leveraging your foundation of past successes. If you ever work with Big Grand Ventures, this is what we look at. First part, feel free to take a picture of this. Creating your strategy and plan for success. So for you, I know there's a big picture. I want to create a $10 million business, a $100 million business, a $1 billion business. But first, what are the baby steps? Where do you want to be? Work backwards. What do you have to do to get there? So what are those baby steps? 1 to 3 months. Over the next month, I want to do 20,000 in sales. Next year, I want to do $1 million in sales. So what are the little things you can do each week? What do they say? If you want to eat an elephant, you eat 1 bite at a time. If you want to achieve any goal, it's little steps along the way. So 1 to 3 months, 6 to 12 months, what are your main objectives? And then the big one, which most people don't do effectively, is what is your 1 to 3 year goal? And are you communicating that to your entire team? Is that a part of your culture? We're here to create $1 billion business. We're here to create the best customer service. We're here to help millions of Americans clean their toilet. We're here to whatever that is. What's your goal so the whole team knows it as a whole? The next one is who are the people that are going to help you get there? You're not going to do it alone. So who are those people that you need in your business to grow it? Is it you need a marketing team? You need a capital partner? You need a great CFO? You need an advisory board member? The best companies out there have a dream team. They have experts in various areas of their business. So who do you need in that place? Next is sales strategy to grow your business. Cash is king. Cash is oxygen. Without cash, without oxygen, you're dead. You need to generate cash flow. You need to have strategies in place to generate cash flow. You need strategic partners to help bring deal flow your way, referral partners, and you need a customer acquisition strategy. So I want to share our team here. Shout out to our team. Some of them aren't here right now. They may be on virtual. Shout out, give a round of applause. Nick, Annalise, Tim, Amanda, who's going to be coming up next. This is them doing a whole strategy session because when we work with somebody, we spend a whole month literally diving into their business and looking at a strategy. We're all impatient entrepreneurs. We just want it yesterday, right? But we need to look at a plan. What's the plan we're going to do to get there? So, strategy. Next step is marketing and brand awareness. Who in here is good at marketing? Awesome. Who in here needs help with marketing? That's why you're here, right? So, marketing. Here's some very valuable questions you need to ask yourself. Who is your audience? Who's the decision maker? Who's going to buy your product and service? Where do they live? What are their buying habits? Where do they spend their time? You ever had your kid go up to you and say, Mom, I want this pickle juice? I know, it's so random. Pickle juice. What the heck? It's a thing. Mom, I want this. I want that. It's because TikTok is promoting things to them, and then they go tell their parent, and then they buy it for them. People understand who to speak to. Who are you speaking to? Who is your client? Who is your avatar? Because if you're doing a bunch of shotgun marketing and you're advertising to a bunch of people that have no desire to buy your product or service or in the need for it, you're wasting your time and money. Be sniper focused on focusing on marketing to people that will actually buy your product or service. Understand your customer acquisition strategy. Does anybody know what their customer acquisition cost is in here? Good, we got some hands up. That is what it costs for you to acquire a customer. Because once you figure out what it costs to acquire a customer, you can scale from there. You might find out it costs you way more than what you can afford. Or some of our businesses, we know that we acquire a customer for X amount and it's on continuity, and maybe we're not profitable for 3 or 4 months, but we know that. You got to look at the data. What is your customer acquisition cost? through paid ads, through maybe in-person events, one-to-one meetings. And then once you get the customer, how do you maximize the lifetime value of a customer? I once had a mentor that built a multi-billion-dollar business, and he said one of the things they did is once they acquired a bunch of customers, they realized instead of trying to acquire more customers, why don't they generate more revenue with the customers they already have? Because once somebody buys from you and they built a relationship with you, they're going to buy more from you as long as you treat them well. So focus on bringing value to your current customers to generate more revenue from those customers. Maximize the lifetime value of a customer. The next one is build out your brand for short-term and long-term success. Brands are everything. Show your presence online, remind people that you're there, and I say plant seeds. You could post a video today, and 1 year from now, somebody might see it, and that might be your big investor. You could post a video today, 3 weeks from now, somebody will buy from that video. Now I've been doing videos for 15 years. You should see some of my early ones are weird, crazy looking. But those videos, people are still watching them. And some of those people weren't in a place to work with me at that time because they didn't have money or wherever they're at. But then years go by, now they become executives of companies, and now they're working with us. So you're planting seeds to harvest in the future. Look at a long game. Don't be just short. Obviously, you got to figure the short-term goals. But when you play the long game, that's when you can really win. All right, marketing, I'm going to show a video. So this is, I see I was a little excited before. This is a Happy Toilet video. This is getting, I think it's like over 3 ROAS right now. It's a great story around the product, showing the product. But I wanted to show you one of the videos we haven't paid ads. It's doing very well right now. Marketing, acquiring customers, if the video works. Does that sound work?
Cleaning product you use in it. A ton of stuff that you just drop in the tank, but I know that's all bad because being a plumber for so many years, we could see the damage that it causes.
And that's why we invented the Happy Toilet Cleaner. It holds the tablet inside this holding area, and it never mixes with the parts in the tank.
Chris and I really believe in this product and really believe that everything that we've done to make sure that the customer has a peace of mind with using this, that we can stand behind it and we will give them a lifetime warranty. But I really feel like this is going to be the right solution for most homeowners.
Let's get a round of applause to Happy Toilet. That was a great video that's doing very well on ads right now. Okay, next one, connections and leveraging the network effect. Look to your left, Look to your right, look back, look up. Your partner might be in this room. Your next business partner, your next investor, your next friend. Some of you, maybe your next person that you end up marrying. You never know. But connections is everything. The biggest thing I've learned in these events is the people you meet could change your life. Greg that introduced me, he literally reached out and I said, hey, you want to pay money to sponsor my event? He sponsored. That was the first time I met him. After that, we've traveled the country together. He's the one that got me on TV. We did TV shows. We've been all over. We've done business together. It was because of connection and event. Kevin Harrington, who's excited to hear him speak tomorrow? Yes? See him at the VIP party tonight. Let's go. So Kevin, 10 years ago, I had him at an event, and that connection led to many great things to where I am today. Connections are everything. Who is in your circle right now? I want to think about this. Beyond in this room, there's definitely people in this room that can help you. But who is already in your phone right now? You got a phone, right? Who's in your contacts? Who's in your circle that already can help you? Maybe they can be an investor. Maybe they can buy your product. Maybe they can refer somebody to you. A lot of people are not leveraging their contacts they already have because they aren't thinking about it. So who's in your inner circle now? Also, ask for referrals. People say this in real estate, but it's in any business. Ask for a referral. Hey, do you know anybody that wants to buy this? Do you know anybody that's in the business for this? Asking referrals. Other thing is leveraging well-known relationships for brand association. Connor Doobie is talking later today. Amazing success story, a kid that had me on his podcast show, hired me, got into the right rooms, and then now he's a part of this business we have today. It's because he leveraged the right brands and association. The fact that you're in this room right now, you could leverage that to help your business. We once had somebody that said they were going to an event we had at Shark Retreat, and they said, hey, I'm going to meet Brennan T. Adams and Kevin Harrington, And they actually raised 50 grand by just telling somebody they were doing that. Leverage your association. The next thing, who is outside your circle that you need to connect with? This is a good exercise for you. You can do it on your phone. You can write down 4 or 5 connections that you could have right now. If you had them, they would completely change your business. Who are they? Where do they spend their time? What do they do? What do they like to do? How can they help you? How can you bring value to them? And think about this. How can you get in association with them? The quickest way, I will tell you because I've done it my whole life, I'll first tell you the wrong way. The wrong way is to reach out to that person and say, hey, I have this great idea. Can you please help me and help me do this and help me? And can you give this to me? Can you give me money? Me. Come from a place of giving. Reach out and say, hey, thank you for all you do. By the way, I just bought a bunch of your books. Hey, I just got a ticket to your event. Hey, I just made a $10,000 donation to your charity. When you bring value to somebody first, then you have their ear. But if you come from a place of, here, give me something, they won't listen to you. Because let me tell you something. I didn't know this early on in my career, but once I started doing what I was doing, every day people reach out to me for money, for introductions, for something. And what do? Oh, next. And then every once in a while, somebody will be like, hey, I see you grew up in Iowa. I grew up small town too. By the way, I just purchased your book. I loved it. I listened to your podcast. I love your videos. And hey, where can I buy a ticket to your next event? They're speaking into all the things they know about me. Use that strategy and you will get into rooms. So invest your time, money, and energy into relationships. Do things to help other people, and it'll come back in return. So here's a few examples we have right here. So here's Connor, Kevin, Robert Herjavec, and I here. It was like 3-4 weeks ago, whatever it was, a connection that we had because we have the relationship. We were backstage with him. We were talking business deals. When you're in business with a shark, it makes it easier to get into literally any room that you want. So that's called connections, network effect. Here's a great example. This is Bayman over here, which I want to give a little bit of a story here. Is Brenda Ringwood in the room? Where are you at, Brenda? Oh, she's out there. Tell her to come here quick. Brenda, we're calling you. I want you to say hi quick. Oh, well, Brenda, she came to a shark retreat 2 years ago, and she was motivated. At the time, she did not have money to be there, but she was committed. We ended up partnering with her. She worked with Big Brand Ventures, and that relationship has led to dozens of new friends, people a part of our company now. And I share this picture because this picture wouldn't have happened if it wasn't Brenda introducing us to people like Big Bob or Bayman or other people in Kansas City. Now, the story, full circle, Bayman is now an investor in our holdings. He has a card shop, if you are card collectors. He once paid, I don't know if I can say this, a lot of money for a Pikachu card, is that right? I think he sold it to Logan Paul. But, by the way, I don't think that's public, so cut that off the line. But that guy right there has become a partner in us, and that's the power of connections. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't a relationship from an event we had. So again, I share this because you are around people that could be your next big opportunity. And so this is us. We paid $1,000 to break some cards and try to win some cards. We actually had a Caitlin Clark card, but there she is, right there. I get around of applause for Brenda. We had a card, a Caitlin Clark, who collects cards in here. It was like a really good one, and Kevin was eating wings, and he smudged it. So it's no longer worth anything. Thanks, Kevin. But the power of connections, network effect. This happens because you meet the right people. This is an example, Peeps. I share this story. We had an inventor named Daniel Patton in a room just like this, but smaller, 12 people, 9 years ago. We partnered with him. We took a stake in the business that went from $1 million over $200 million in sales now. And the grommet, which Greg's a partner in the grommet, you'll hear more of him later. That one platform alone, distribution led to tens of millions in sales. So again, you never know how one connection can change your life. Last part of this, I'm wrapping up, guys. Leveraging your foundation of past success. I want you guys to think about everything you've done in your life, every success you've had, every relationship you've gained, the knowledge you've gained, what you did right, what you did wrong, just as I shared in my journey. What did you learn from it? Look at the data. For us, we have so many companies in our portfolios. We've had a lot of successes. We've had a lot of failures. We take what we have learned and we apply it in businesses we work with today to take that learning curve and make it a lot easier. So look at your data. Look at your systems and processes. What worked? What didn't work? What did you learn? And what do you never need to do it again? And what can you double down on? Also, what connections did you make in your past life that can help you today? How can you create win-wins with those people, with other partners? Also, your brand reputation. Over the years, when I started my career, I was in the ice business. I sold ice to Eskimos for a living. That was a funny joke. Nobody laughed, but thanks. Now you're laughing. By the way, when I was in the ice business, I was in the back of an ice truck, and probably nobody that's ever sold ice in here. But people would always come up and like, you got a cool job, man. And when you hear that 5 times a day, when it's 100 degrees out and you're soaked in sweat, it's not that cool. But that was my beginning. And then I was known as an inventor. And then I became a podcaster, then a TV host, and now a CEO, scaling businesses. My brand transitioned. But let me tell you something. There's connections in my career 10 years ago that now we find ways to work together. If you build a brand, you can always have the brand. If your business does not work out, you still have your brand. Use your brand and your reputation to succeed much faster and further. Here's companies in our portfolio. We use these successes. Celsius, a couple $1 million business to a $15 billion market cap. Wicked Tuna, Peeps, Strip Bar. Here's companies in our portfolio we've had success with. We've taken what we've learned, and now we help other people. So I have 2 more questions I'm going to wrap up. First one is, will you be our next success story? I hope so. I can guarantee you there's people in this room right now, next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you may be on this stage, and we'll talk about how you are at Big Brand Ventures Live in Nashville. You figured out how to get here, and it changed your life. I share this because we've had dozens of stories like this where people's lives were changed. And I've lived it and breathed it. And that's why I do what I do. You never know where life can take you when you get the right people in your corner. So what will your success be? And will your next success story be with us? And then the last one is, what will your founder story be? I talked about the founder story. Who are you? Where are you going? What story are you going to tell in 6 months? What are you going to tell in 12 months? Where are you going to be in 5 years? Most people, they overestimate what they can do in a few years, but they underestimate what they can do in 5 to 10. I'm living proof. When I was 10 years ago, I was delivering ice for a living, which is fine. I just was working a little differently, harder. I was living in a small town in Iowa, 700 people, and my friends laughed at me about my invention and where I was going. Fast forward 10 years, I'm a co-founder and co-CEO of a business that is on the path to becoming a $1 billion valuation, that is helping people have success. I'm living my dream. I have a beautiful wife, family, and I'm sitting here on stage with you in Nashville. Thank you. 10 years, you can change lives. Literally 10 years, I'm proof. I'm a kid from a town nobody's heard of in Iowa, and I grew up with a speech impediment and no networks. You can achieve anything you set your mind to if you really focus on it. All great things come at a price. Growth is uncomfortable. It sucks sometimes. It hurts. You want to cry. It's not fun some mornings waking up at 3:30 or 4 a.m., going to bed at midnight, having somebody that leaves that you didn't want to leave your company, wondering if you're going to get sued, wonder if people are going to try to hurt you. That's the life of a founder. I want you to embrace it. I want you to go all in life. Change, become the change you want to be. Live your life with no regrets. And my last quote by Napoleon Hill: whatever the mind conceives and believes, the mind achieves. Whatever the mind conceives and believes, the mind achieves. And also, whatever you think about the most is what you become. That one took me a while. Be careful what you think about. Be careful who you are around that make you think certain things. First conceive it, you believe it, and you achieve it. And I want you all to go out there and create something great and become unforgettable. because life is too short not to. I'm Bernard C. Adams. Thanks for having me, everybody. I appreciate it. Let's have some fun.